System initiated.
His brother Michael is also satisfied.
Welcome to Afrogenesis Artificial Intelligence.
What if your hand could start working on its own, just by thinking? No buttons to press, no commands to give. You simply think, and your hand does exactly what you imagined. Sounds like a scene from a science fiction movie, right?
But this is now a reality.
Wrist pronation.
System initiated.
Sitting in the corner of a small room, patching together old electronic parts. From simple sketch. But how did they turn an ordinary drawing into a real-life invention? And how did their creation leave American engineers stunned? Today, we'll uncover how their limitations and created a groundbreaking technology. David and Moses both grew up in a small town in Kenya. Their love for technology started at a very young age, but poverty made their lives extremely challenging.
Since my childhood, I've been curious and passionate in it.
To support their families, they had to drop out of school, but their dreams didn't stop there. Together, David and Moses decided they would create something that could truly change lives. Their journey began with the founding of a small initiative called Afrogenesis. This wasn't a billion-dollar company. It was a modest workshop where they experimented using discarded electronic parts. Day after day, night after night, they worked tirelessly on new ideas. There were no modern labs, no advanced equipment, but their greatest assets were hard work and unshakable faith in each other. In the beginning, they built simple electronic devices to help local people with daily needs. But soon they turned their attention to a much bigger problem: creating affordable and effective artificial arms for disabled individuals. And that's where their biggest challenge began: to build a robotic hand that could respond directly to signals from the human brain. Traditional prosthetic arms rely on signals from muscle movement, but David and Moses wanted to create something far more advanced, a robotic arm controlled directly by human thought. But is that even possible? Did they have the knowledge or resources to build such cutting-edge technology? The truth is, dreaming of innovation is one thing, but making it a reality is something else entirely. Their goal was to create an artificial hand that responds to human thoughts. But first, let's understand how regular prosthetic arms work. They typically respond to electrical signals generated by muscle movements. But David and Moses, however, chose a completely different path. They developed a neural node biopotential headset, a device worn on the head that can detect brain waves. When a person thinks about grabbing an object, the brain sends out specific signals. This special headset captures those signals, converts them into electrical impulses, and sends them to the robotic arm, which then moves accordingly. The most amazing part, this invention doesn't just respond to thoughts, it also works with voice commands. That means even if someone can't think clearly enough to trigger movement, they can simply say what they want the arm to do, and it will obey. This innovation is especially helpful for those whose brain signals still function, but whose muscles have weakened or stopped responding properly. David and Moses spent countless days in their workshop, researching, testing, failing, and trying again. Their first prototype didn't work as expected. The brain signals weren't strong enough to control the hand effectively.
So they made it more sensitive by adding advanced sensors. They also integrated a special radio frequency transmitter that could amplify those brain signals and send them more effectively to the robotic arm. This wasn't just a replacement for a regular prosthetic, it was something far more advanced. Traditional artificial limbs are expensive and often require complex training to use. But their robotic hand is easy to operate and much more affordable. Of course, innovation is never easy. To build something new, you must become friends with failure. And David and Moses, their life was a collection of struggles, each marked by persistence. They faced constant challenges, a lack of money, a shortage of equipment, and very limited access to proper research facilities. Their biggest question was, where do we even begin? They had no lab, no fancy machines. So they made a bold decision. They would collect all the parts they needed from the local junkyard. Day after day, they dug through piles of electronic waste, breaking apart old computers, motors, and used batteries, salvaging whatever they could. And from those discarded parts, they built their very first prototype. Each time they failed, they analyzed the problem, found a solution, and built an even better version than before.
But it wasn't just the robotic hand. David and Moses have worked on many other innovative projects too. During the COVID-19 pandemic, they built a disinfection device that could automatically sanitize any surface. They also created an air purification system capable of destroying airborne viruses, a groundbreaking solution for public health. Yet their greatest challenge remained lack of funding. Innovation needs resources. Research and development require a steady flow of money, but they had no such luxury. To improve and scale their inventions, they needed the support of investors. Unfortunately, no major organization stepped forward to help them. So, what does the future hold for their invention? Can this really change lives across the globe? And what are David and Moses planning next? The truth is, their journey is far from over. In fact, it's only just beginning. Their dream wasn't just to build a robotic hand. It was to make it affordable, effective, and accessible. Most advanced prosthetic arms today cost thousands of dollars, making them completely out of reach for poor communities. David and Moses have a different vision: to create a low-cost robotic hand that can reach every corner of Africa and eventually the entire world. They now plan to make their robotic hand even more advanced, lighter in weight, and stronger in performance. And that's not all. They're also working on a system that will allow the hand to connect to smartphones via Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. This will let users easily control the hand, adjust settings, and customize movement, all through a simple mobile app. At the heart of it, their story teaches us something powerful. You don't need a big degree to achieve success. What you truly need is a big dream and the relentless determination to chase it.